Hey there, wonderful fire signs. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. Alright, let's get in there. What's going on for you? I'm going to do 3 oracle cards to get the 3 columns. Beautiful hummingbird joy. Letting go, autumn. And thicket of thorns, uncertainty. Interesting. It's quite a strange journey, going from joy, letting go, and then probably coming to terms with some uncertainty. I don't know what that fully means yet, but we'll see. Excuse the plane. Beautiful Judgment card, Justice, hopefully this fits in the camera. So far it looks like you've created a lot of changes and have woken up to something, found a bit more balance, and in a kind of a review stage or planning stage. We'll see what the next column brings. Strength, love that. More balance and seeing clearly, and a bit of challenge on a mental space, probably letting go. That really resonates with that card actually. Probably letting go of some thought forms that aren't really serving you anymore. Beautiful. 10 of Cups. So moving into fulfillment. Yeah, there's some big stuff going on. Chariots. Finding your path in the uncertainty. And 7 of Wands, sticking to your guns. Alright. So far it's looking like you are moving towards fulfillment, but there's a track of uncertainty or being in a thicket of thorns. We'll unpack this a little bit more as we go. Okay, fire signs. This first column already showing that there's been a new level of joy that you've reached, but it's come with, some hardship. There's had to be some breakthrough. We've got here the Judgment card, which shows these figures down here being raised from the dead or waking up from their graves. So answering a call and waking up to a new perspective, new chapter. I think there's something you feel like you've been owed or you deserve, and it's starting to creep in, which is really wonderful. And you've found from that a new station for yourself that, as this card shows with the Justice card, there's a sense of stability and power that comes from that stability. And you might have reached new agreements with your relationships, or you've maybe moved into a new place, or you've got a new business or something that's kind of settling. I'm getting a vibe of this sort of thing settling down. And it might even be a new achievement of balance internally. So parts of you that were at odds with each other and conflicted might have found some kind of resolution or common ground. So that's really wonderful. It's not the end though, as we know. Life keeps rolling along. So even though there's been a new, status quo that you're entering into, this shows, the 7 of Discs shows that, it's a time for reviewing and a time for assessment, and to look at, hey, what is worth your energy now? I get a feeling with this card that the grass is always greener as well, and he's standing there in the paddock and there is sort of this other field there. So it is, that never-ending want for more joy or to keep that joy, but coming from a Buddhist perspective, it's important to not cling too tightly to both positive or negative attributes of life. So I'm getting a sense with this card to really hold a healthy sense of detachment about where you're heading, and to kind of just come back into the moment, really, essentially. This middle column, so we've got this energy here of autumn, which, you know, likewise with the leaves falling from the trees and letting go, this card is all about a letting go. So that kind of resonates with the 7 I was just talking about there, actually. Coming off that is the Strength card. So the feeling I'm getting with this card for you is one of self-discipline and needing to master those parts of you that, you know, throw things off balance. And I think that's coming back to this Justice card, this Balance card as well. So getting a bit of a handle on thought forms or stories that run through your mind that really throw you off balance. And so in this card you've got this female enchantress, and she's taming this lion, which is her baser inner self. So you know, really do that work on letting go of what doesn't serve you or support you, and you know that keeps cropping up whenever you feel vulnerable or threatened or uncertain. So it's about taking charge of your own internal cosmos and really like enchanting and charming those parts of you rather than pushing them away or trying to bury them. And that's going to bring that internal harmony. And this card here in the center is the heart of the whole reading, which is the Queen of Swords. And she's all about elevating yourself up to a bird's eye point of view, taking in the whole picture so you can see things clearer and with more perspective, rising above that fog or that kind of past hurt. She's one of the only few characters looking forward in this, so it really shows mending those old wounds and those old stories so that you can actually see clearly and be present. So it's a beautiful card to have there. She is the widow in this as well, so there is potential for her to easily slide back into bitterness, resentment, self-righteousness, you know, a sense of things haven't been fair. But this is asking you, in combination with all these other cards, to really let go of those things so you can see clearly, and so you can embody the present moment in a way that's going to bring more good fortune for you. And echoing from that is this card here, which is the card of being kind of tormented by insomnia or worry. And so with this change that you've gone through, because I remember in your last reading it was like you were stepping into a quickening or an expansion, and with that comes change, and with that comes disruption. And if you haven't been stepping into that change or expansion, you might be getting a build-up of angst, and that could be your subconscious asking you to please let go of what you need to let go of so you can step into your power more. So this third column, future, and we've got the thicket of thorns here, which is stepping into uncertainty. But I don't feel like this is a threatening uncertainty. I think this also holds within it the mystery of life and the unknown. And you could see the unknown as a canvas for potential and possibility. And coming down from that, we've got the 10 of Cups, which is reaching that fulfillment through hardship. So it's a beautiful card to have there. I'm glad you've got that there. I really love that with the other two that I'm going to talk about as well, because it's showing that you need to hold on to your dream here. And yeah, have a bit of psychological flexibility with that dream, so it doesn't need to be so fixed. But if you reduce down the basic elements of that, how do you want to feel when you're in that space that you're moving towards? Do you want to feel more socially connected? Do you want to feel more at ease and peaceful inside of yourself? Do you want to feel more creative and have a bit more abundance of time? Those are some of the things that are coming to my mind. So really let yourself dream, but don't just let it become cerebral. that can get a bit tricky. The mind is a bit of a fickle trickster, so really let your heart play a role in that dreaming as well, and ask yourself, how do I want to feel when I've landed in that situation? And you'll already start to feel it in the present moment, and if you've done the work of letting go, there'll be space for that. There'll be space for you to dream. If you haven't and you still need to do some processing, I would urge you to take it upon yourself to do some journaling, some ritual, see a therapist, talk to a really good friend, anything that can start to move you closer to a sense of peace and clarity, because you deserve that. There has been an awakening and a joy creeping in, but sometimes when that happens we can block it as well, or smother it with too many idealistic expectations. So coming off that is the Chariot. So this card's about really coming back to your own sense of destiny and your why. And I guess on some level we don't need to know the why all the time, because it can be a source of, why? A source of opening up maybe portals in the mind that we can't actually answer. But I think with this card, it's actually looking at that sense of agency for you, and coming off the back of this dream or vision of what you want your life to really be like. It's asking you to be a little bit more selfish in that. And I'm saying selfish is a positive thing here. It's got a bad rap out there, but letting your own desires flood in, and the yogic practice of having desire without attachment to those desires as well. That can really be a powerful ingredient here. And this card is quite a strong fire card as well. As you can see, there's figures here with all these different opposing forces trying to knock him off the mountain. So I feel like it's also a strengthening exercise for you to get in touch with this dream, to let yourself have these desires. That's going to really strengthen your inner column and allow you to be a little bit more impervious to being knocked off your mountain or knocked off your confidence. I think as a fire sign, confidence is really important to you. You can do incredible things when you're feeling confident, but when that gets knocked back, it's as if the world totally changes. So yeah, really stoke that fire inside of you and that confidence inside of you. It's a beautiful reading. There's some work to be done and some letting go to be done, and when I say work to be done, it's often actually a letting go, so it's a release rather than a problem solve strategy kind of thing. But yeah, let's do some clarity cards with the Thoth deck, just to deepen this. Beautiful. So there's a real abundance that's starting to come in for you, but it's coinciding with that letting go. So linking that Judgment card, which is all about that awakening you've gone through, and to find that strength inside of you over mastery. The more you let go, the more abundance is going to come in. So the abundance is already there. It's almost behind like a thin curtain. But if you're locked into stress, old stories, old programs running inside you, that thin curtain might as well be a concrete wall. So I'm really feeling with this reading, the practice of letting go is key for you to find that power and abundance that's just behind the curtain. So there's been this change, which has resulted in some stability, but I feel like the scales are still kind of doing their thing. So it's not like things have totally locked into place. There's still a process going on, but it's, looking at the gift of it, it's building more clarity and truth inside of you. So you're on the right track. I just feel like the less you get in your own way, the better. In terms of releasing some of this stuff, I've got the Empress here. It's quite an ultra feminine card, it's the mother. The energy I'm getting from that for you is you really need to find time in nature. Nature's going to help you heal and release. So if you can weave in some time for yourself in beautiful environments and bringing in some of that intention to let go. You can use water for that, usually being by the beach if you're near a beach. Can be helpful to go on a long walk and really like almost psychically let stuff go into the water. If you're not near water, just laying in the sun and just letting that sun dissolve whatever it is you feel like you need to dissolve. So I'm getting a sense that Mother Earth is there for you. Don't feel like this is all just you in a battle of the wheels inside. You're part of an ecosystem, and this ecosystem, ever since we've been here, has been absorbing stuff for us and digesting it. So the bounty of nature is there to help you to take a load off you. Yeah. This movement into fulfillment is directly linked to your self-love, or how much or how little you have at the moment. So the practice of loving all parts of you unconditionally, even the parts of you that you're trying to tame or get a handle on, the way to do that is through love. So always just remember, I love this quote, if in doubt, love. So whenever you kind of like, oh, I don't know what to do, like come back to love, and however that fits into the scenario. So yeah, it's a beautiful process of self-realization. But the more you can love yourself, the more others will benefit as well. So this journey from having this new perception arising and then moving into the Chariot energy, which is like your destiny and your cosmic reason for being here, it's going to take a bit of time. So this card's called Prudence, which is the 8 of Discs. So it's a card of just allowing nature to unfold and doing what part you can. So in terms of having a garden, you plant the seeds, but you don't sit there kind of looking at the seeds going, hurry up and grow, So it's a card of just doing your part, but knowing when to actually let nature take its course as well. So set your intention, do this energy work where you let your heart dream, but you don't have to micromanage it into existence. Yeah? It's all part of that letting go energy, that autumn energy. And then finally we have, yeah, beautiful. So moving from the 9 of Swords, which is that sort of insomnia, stress, unhelpful thinking, pain. Moving from that into finding this confidence and core inside of you. We've got the 6 of Swords, which is moving through troubled waters into a better space. But I'm feeling for you that really you just have to keep your life organized in a sense that you don't fret too much over things you don't need to fret about, and the rest will take care of itself. It's a card of harmony and natural intelligence doing its thing. So trust in your natural intelligence to move through this. It's going to take a bit of time, but there's an energy here of if you just keep your life in some semblance of balance, let go, not overthink things, shift your attention towards healing, letting the abundance in, which is just there every moment if you let it. Nature will take its course, and you'll naturally find that strength that you know is in there and that you're rebuilding. So it's a beautiful reading. I'm really getting the overall message here of letting go. So I hope that was helpful for you, fire signs. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. And if you want to add any comments in the section below, that really helps with feedback and helping me move forward. and I'll see you next time. Thank you.